Hello and welcome to the Week 7 edition of the Over Under Spreads of the Week, where we run through every spread of every NFL game and give you our expert, or maybe not so expert in some case, picks. However, it must be said on the season, we're still above 50% quite comfortably. So last week I had a nice 10-game week, picking at 71% last week, bringing my season total up to 56%. You had a 6-game week, which is your joint worst week so far.
Yeah, not good. Not good.
No. However, you had a few rippers before then, so you're still at 54% on the year. So both of us still would be turning a profit if only we could find the right games to bet on. That's another story.
Yeah.
Now, first, let's go over some of our best games from last week. Well, our one best game each, and I think mine has to be the Rams to cover that big spread that they were given there, 14 points against Panthers. So I believe it was 10 points. Let me just double check. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it was 10 points.
They won. Yeah, I mean, I as I said last week, I'm just quite happy with that one because I didn't think the coaching change would do much there in Carolina. I'd already been burned trying to bet on a team in college changing their coach before that. So, yeah, I just believe that the Panthers were a fundamentally flawed team in many ways, evidenced by Robbie Anderson having a go at that coach on the sideline there and having to get thrown out by his own coaching staff. I mean, the whole thing is just an absolute mess there. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy I trusted my gut on that one, even though it was a big spread.
Fair enough. Yeah, not too many options for me. As you say, it was a bit of a down week for me last week. I think picking the Bengals to go into the Superdome, we both called that one, so I wasn't out on a limb or anything, but I just enjoyed it. And likewise, Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley getting it done over the Ravens. I did think they would lose the game, the Giants, but I thought it'd be close, and obviously they pulled it out to go 5-1 on the year. Still not convinced they're the real article, but they're when they come up against the Cowboys and the Eagles another few times, we'll see what their record is. But for now, they're looking good. Yeah, and that's, I'm not a big fan of the Ravens. I don't think anybody is really outside of Baltimore, so it's good to see them go down.
No, I mean, yeah, dropping another bad game there, the Ravens, after comfortably seemed to handle that one for 3 quarters, just an absolute meltdown in the end.
Yeah. Well, your statistic from last week should be heralded by and observed by everybody that the Ravens do not blow anybody out. Every game is a 1-score game, so you can trust them to cover if they're the underdog, and you can trust them not to cover if they're the favorite. So in a way, they're quite nice and predictable. So we should all bear that in mind.
Yeah, absolutely. How about your worst one then of the week? There were quite a few to choose from for you there. So,
sticking your oar in. Obviously, not doing my research for Carolina, not realizing PJ Walker was playing a quarterback. Just terrible from me, really. Had I known that, I wouldn't have gone the way that I did. But lack of research gets you in the end, doesn't it? And yeah, probably Jacksonville, not so much that I made the wrong call picking them to cover 1.5. The fact that they couldn't beat the Colts on the road was a surprise to me. They've been one of my favorite teams to back this year, and I thought that was quite comfy for them. A real disappointing result for them and for Doug Peterson. They need to right the ship this week if they can.
Yeah, it's going downhill pretty quickly there all of a sudden. 3 losses in a row, I think. Did not see that come at the start of the year, certainly the way they began. I think for me, it was disappointing. The Niners one was disappointing. We both picked the Niners. We were both quite sure they'd put the Falcons in a bind, but the Falcons just pulled the Niners on them, just ran it a lot. Mariota only throwing it 19 times, I think, in the end, which is a recipe for success for the Falcons, and they comfortably handled them in the dome. West Coast team going all the way up to the East Coast, maybe we should have considered that a bit more. But I just don't like the Niners. I think I'm done with betting on the Niners this year. I've been burned too many times.
That Rams game for them, you thought that might get them going, Jimmy G back in form, getting all the starters reps in practice. You thought they would pull away But I don't know what that was. A bit of an aberration last week, wasn't it? So no,
Yeah.
I won't be placing any money on them.
No, I mean the Falcons. Ridiculously, I was looking earlier. The Falcons have covered every single spread this year. The Falcons are 6 for 6. So yeah, if we'd known that, I mean, we know that this week, so that may help us a bit more this week. But yeah, that's an interesting one to bear in mind. They seem to be the hot hand at the moment if you want to ride someone. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. With that, should we get into week 7? We had the Thursday game last night, of course, and we both took the Cards to cover, which is good. It's our first Thursday pick of the year because we've been struggling with some of those games.
I can't share. It's not letting me share my screen here. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, so at the moment, we're looking at Buckeyes, Hawkeyes. That's just what I was looking at before I joined this call. So yeah, Iowa are a big 30-point underdog there. I don't think I would be taking that even on an extended spread in Columbus. If it was in Iowa, it'd be a different story. But yeah.
That's that smells a bit. That one smells a bit funny. Yeah, so Thursday night, just briefly, Arizona covering 2.5 there as favorites. We were both pretty happy on that yesterday when we discussed it. So yeah, I think we both think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but we both think New Orleans are just a bad team at the moment. Don't like the coaching, don't really like what's going on there. So quite satisfying to see that one come in, even though the Cards might not be all the way there. Still, that was pretty straightforward, I think, that one.
Yeah, and immediate return for D-Hop as well. You knew he'd make a difference for Murray. They seem to be running Murray a bit more now as well, a bit more like they did in his rookie year, where they sort of run it. The run-pass split is a bit more even, and they get him out on design QB runs, which they seem to have got away from second half of last year, first half of this year. So I thought they might do that, and I thought D-Hop would make a difference, and proven right for once after a shoddy week from me last week. So very interesting though. Cardinals defense is atrocious. So moving forward in the season, we need to bear that in mind with them. The Saints putting up 500 yards, my word.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Cardinals defense not good. Bit concerning for me as an Eagles fan that they gave us so much difficulty when everybody else seems to be moving the ball on them quite easily.
Yeah, that's
true. All right, the Sunday slate then. We've got Colts at the Titans heading down to Nashville. So an AFC slobber knocker for the ages. The underdog always covers in the AFC South this year. Is that your statistic, Tom, I believe?
Yep. Beat me to it there, Mike. I was going to pull that one out. But yeah, we've got in 5 games in the AFC South, we've had 4 underdog covers so far. The anomaly was last week when the Colts beat the Jags. That was the Jags were underdogs and they did not cover. Yeah. So that was the only anomaly. And yeah, I think it turns to form this week, certainly with a cover for the underdog.
You do? So you're going Colts, are you?
I think so, yeah. I mean, Tennessee won this fixture earlier in the year at Indianapolis. Seems a bit early for a rematch, but we're here already. I think the series is split. I think we're going to see split series in all these AFC South games. To be honest, they're usually quite reliable, quite easy to bet on. Usually the same every season. So just for the fact that it's going to be a split series, I think the Colts do more than cover. The Colts win this one.
Oh, interesting. I don't really like either of these teams. This is a tough one. I mean, I'm just going to go. I'm going to follow the trend and say the Colts cover, but I'm not thrilled about it. I don't really like their team, to be honest, but we'll see. I have no real logic other than, overwhelmingly in the AFC South, the series is, as you say, the 2-game series is split. So that you can't. I don't think I'd back the Titans to win 2 games over the Colts this year. That's not who they are. The Titans, is it really? They're not that good. So
yeah, I agree.
Agreed. We'll move on that one because that's
Yeah, well, nice and simple, really.
That'll be a bit
Simple.
of a basement dwelling sort of affair. Right. Browns at Ravens. Ooh, yeah. Well, look,
Take this one.
as per usual, the Ravens are a big favorite. They're a big favorite every week, it appears, and they flatter to deceive. They're incredibly efficient offense, the Ravens. They're just killing themselves with mistakes. I don't think. Oh, God. I mean, the Browns are really shooting themselves in the foot this season as well. So, yeah, I can't pick this one at all. I'm going to say Baltimore at home, come out angry after last week. I think the Browns, I think you've been calling for it for a long time. I think they might be losing, the players might be losing faith in the coaching staff there. That defense is atrocious, Myles Garrett aside. They shouldn't give Lamar too many problems. So, yeah, give me the Ravens to win by 10 here.
I definitely agree with that. Ravens dropped one last week. Like you said, they'll be angry. They'll be coming out to win by a touchdown here. For all those reasons, really. Can't see the Browns tackling well at all. That's one of their faults. And my goodness, so we get J.K. Dobbins, Jackson himself, even the big man Mark Andrews there running around in that secondary. It's going to be a very long day for the Browns. They're in a bit of a tailspin at the moment. Some bad coaching, play calling, and game management from the Browns. So I could not take the Browns in good conscience here. So let's get in double lock here for the Ravens.
Let's agree to agree. Right.
Yeah.
Two teams here that I think are going to be very evenly matched despite the records, and that's the Giants and the Jaguars. In Duval. Ooh, you get to pick first, which is a shame because I'd like to go. But you go on, it's your go. I'll let you go.
It's a bit of a tough one because first of all, I'm not sure why the Giants are underdogs. It's odd.
Nobody believes in them. They've had the easiest schedule ever apart from playing the Cowboys, and no one believes in them.
Yeah, well, they had the Packers, I suppose, but the Packers haven't been very good. Everyone beats the Packers, it seems. Yeah, I mean, I'd have to take the Giants to cover. The Jags, as we said, they've lost all these games in a row, and the Giants are just a form team. So, I mean, it's the NFL, so I could easily see the Jags winning this by a touchdown. But I think it's going to be a lot of running in this game, a lot of long, drawn-out drives. Might come down to just a few key third downs, which I probably trust the Giants on a bit more. Probably win the game, to be honest. I mean, not a form team. If you're going on form, you'd have to take the Giants. It would be crazy not to. I'm still not too confident on it. I won't put money on it myself, but I'll take the Giants.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Jags here. I know I'm a Jags homer this season. Been backing them every week, but to be fair, I've been backing the Giants every week, despite being a rival of the Eagles. Because they've been big underdogs in every game. I don't think they're that bad of a team. However, I don't think the Jags are that bad of a team either. And this feels like a trap game for the Giants. Coming down to Duval, riding high on confidence. They think, get to 6-1 here and start looking in division. And I think hold, not so fast there. I think the Jags, Dougie P will know some of the players on that Giants roster. I think they might get it done this week, the Jags. So give me the Jags by a touchdown at home, as you said.
Oh, lovely. Yeah. It seems like teams do struggle to go to Florida for some reason. The Heat seems to be getting teams this year. So
I think it's just a very mediocre league this year, and the mediocrity doesn't travel very well. I think anything over a couple of hour journey seems to ruffle a few feathers. That's my reasoning, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
Oh, now this one's interesting. It's me first as well when it loads. So, Lions at Cowboys. Oh, you look like frozen there, Tom. Can you hear me all right? Oh, you look like frozen.
Oh, yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, you're back.
Yeah, I was literally just checking on the Dak Prescott situation there, which probably explained that fault.
Yeah,
in the
I think we
computer.
need to give your Chromebook as much chance as possible to operate here, Tom. Prescott's going to play.
Yeah.
I mean, the last time the Lions played a good defense in the Patriots, it was ugly.
Yeah.
I don't know. You will remember. I don't think many of our viewers will, but you'll remember that game a few years ago when big Calvin Johnson and the Lions went down into Dallas and got the win. I'd like to think something similar is going to happen here for my Eagles, but I think the Cowboys bounce back here, and I think they bounce back by more than 7 points. The defense will stifle Jared Goff, and Prescott gives the offense a bump. So I'm going to take the Cowboys here.
I'll differ with you. I'll just take the Lions. I mean, Prescott hasn't looked good when he's played this year, even before the injury. They looked.
He only played one game against the Buccaneers, who are a lot better than the Lions.
Well, true, but I think there's going to be a bit of adjustments being made here. I mean, it's been 6 weeks now since he's been out, so I don't expect this to be a seamless transition, because it never seems to be in Dallas for whatever reason. There always seems to be some issue. It's just never straightforward. So I see them winning, but I just don't think they're good enough to beat the Lions by 7. The Lions are always in games. Coming off a bye week, let's remember. So the Lions are fresh. So if there is a time to take them, it's now. It's the same kind of dome field the Lions are used to playing on. Apart from the fact it's Dallas, it's not a massive home field advantage. So yeah, I think I'll be pretty happy with the Lions there. I'd be willing to stake some money on that. Too many points.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm in free fall form wise, so it's probably good to steer clear of me when I take a risk at the moment, which is a wise policy from you there.
Well, taking another NFC East opponent, it's rather unlike you, I have to say.
Oh yeah, I've backed the Giants a fair bit this year. I won't back the football team or the Commanders or whatever the hell they're calling themselves now. Bengals.
All right, I'll tee off on this one then. Well, I mean, I said earlier the Falcons have covered every single spread this year, so the fact they're being given 6.5 is an absolute travesty. But there's no injury concerns that I know of that are going to affect this.
No, I'll be having money on this myself.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, we've spoken about the Bengals before. I think the week we went on about it, they actually won by 2 scores, but the Bengals are always in 1-score games. Yeah, it's not, the home field advantage isn't enough here to give them 6.5 points. So this is the Falcons cover, and given the Bengals won last week, I don't know, they seem like a team that could just drop this game. So I'm sure there'll be some money going on Atlanta to win. I was thinking earlier maybe the Atlanta football market isn't a massive market, which is why this has maybe gone a bit under the radar. But yeah, other than that, I mean, we're going to see the New York Jets being favored later as away opponents. And for me, the Atlanta Falcons are as good a story as the Jets this year. They've really turned that around. So I mean, that's the only thing I can think of why this would be so big. But yeah,
I think Cordero Patterson being on IR is a problem as well. I think people read too much into those big players being injured sometimes. The whole team is not going to fall apart because Cordero Patterson's injured. They're a bit better than that, the Falcons, but I think that might have something to do with it. Maybe, I don't know. I agree with you. I agree with you. Yeah, no, I'm really happy to take the Falcons here, and I'll be extending that and having some money on it myself. So,
that's good.
Yeah, Godspeed to us there. Right. Right, Wisconsin. Oh, no, it's not. No, it's in Washington. I thought we were going to be up in Wisconsin with a load of cheese.
Well, either one's a bit depressing, isn't it? God.
Yeah, no. Packers at the Commanders. Christ. Well, you can understand, obviously, why the Packers are still favoured in football games with Aaron Rodgers playing.
Yeah.
I haven't backed the Commanders all year to do anything. And actually, all bar 1 week, I think that's paid off for me. So I'm just going to go. I'm just going to go back to type here and say that maybe the Packers start to get something going on offense here, and come into Washington and get a bigger win than the experts think.
Yeah.
I think Wentz is out injured, so I don't know who is going to be playing at quarterback.
Yeah, it's going to be Taylor Heineke.
It's Heineke. I mean, he did play well in patches when he was the starter, but I don't know. Just give me the Packers here. No more reasoning. Just give me the Packers.
Yeah, I mean, they've got to be too good. I mean, they're not a great team, but they're good enough to not get into a tailspin here and lose what would be 3 on the bounce. Yeah, against the backup quarterback. So I think you have to take the Packers. Although, again, I'm not 100% on this, I have to say. Yeah, I think, yeah, you trust Rodgers more than Taylor Heineke to get it done. And the Packers do have a good defense. Washington's Achilles heel, as usual, is their offense. So, yeah, I'd imagine they'd struggle to move it. Interestingly, I'd have a look at the over on that. I mean, it's only 41.5 points. So I think by looks of things, the experts think this will be a very tight affair. As we can see there.
That's the problem. The yards allowed from Washington. I know their offense isn't great, the Commanders, but their defense isn't good either. It's Rivera's big problem. He hasn't got the defense fixed. It's what's going to cost him his job at the end of the year. And I think they're just limping towards that now, the Commanders. Well, literally in Wentz's case. So, yeah, I think you're taking Green Bay, are you? You seem to be talking yourself into it without firmly committing.
No, I'm taking Green Bay for sure. I'm actually more looking at the over/under, and I'd probably go over because I actually think this has maybe the makings of a little shootout here in Washington against the Wolves.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'd go for over 41 points quite happily.
Right. Well, thankfully, you're going first here, Thomas, because
it's an easy one for me. Yeah, you've got to pile in against the Panthers.
You're taking the Bucks, are you?
Yeah, I mean it's quite rare that you'll see these multiple big spreads from week to week here, but Carolina can't cover any of these spreads. So until they show me they can, I'll take the Bucks at -13. If it was more than 2 touchdowns, obviously I'd take the points, but yeah, I think the Bucks will get this done. The Panthers are just nowhere at the moment. They can't get anything going from anywhere. Just trade away their best player. So
is
pretty simple.
Yeah, that's true. McCaffrey being gone, they're in full bailout mode, aren't they? Is PJ Walker playing quarterback again?
I'm not sure, to be honest. And for me, it doesn't matter. They're all as bad at each other as quarterbacks, but we'll have a little look.
Injury report. Baker Mayfield, ankle. Yeah. God, look how beaten up they are. Jeez, they really didn't need that, the Panthers. They didn't need to be that beaten up. They're talent deficient as it is. Yeah. No, go on. Give me Tampa Bay as well. I think I might extend this to over 2 touchdowns for the Panthers and put some money on it.
Okay.
But
it's a home game.
Yeah, it's a home game. I think over 2. I'm with you. If it was over 2 touchdowns, I'd say no. But As it is, I'm saying yes, yes, yes. Tom Brady gets it right here, gets himself back on track.
Yeah. Little NFC South action for us this weekend. A little parlay here. The Falcons and the Panthers back to back. That'd be quite nice.
Doesn't this feel a little bit like Tampa Bay's Super Bowl year, where they were 3-3 that year, I think, and then Brady got it together, and I don't think that they're not going to win the Super Bowl, the Buccaneers, this year, but I think they're going to be in the playoffs eventually in the pretty mediocre NFC. So I think they'll get back on track here. All right. So the Houston Texans back from a refreshing break to head out to Las Vegas. I think the Raiders also took a week off last week, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
So you got the bye's tie. There is no bye advantage here.
Yeah.
Woof.
Yeah, this is tough.
Woof. I'm leaning towards. I haven't decided. All cards on the table. I'm leaning towards Houston because they're gritty in their in games, and they're quite good. They're deceptively good on the lines of scrimmage as well, which is Vegas's weakness. So that could be positive for the Texans, but yeesh, I don't know. They're not as good as I hoped they would be this year. I like the Texans. I like Lovie Smith, but they really haven't done much. The offense is totally stagnated.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna. That's quite a lot of points in the NFL. Because I'm not sure. I'm just gonna take the points and say that Houston cover here.
Yeah, I agree. If I was putting money on it, I'd probably look to extend it to maybe 10.5, 11.5, just to be sure. The one thing that Houston haven't locked is Damian Pierce, who looks like a fine running back, and he seems to be getting more touches and becoming just more familiar with the system now. So that run game should be going pretty all right, well enough for them to cover. And the Raiders just don't seem to have it this year at all. I mean, I think we've both spoken before about Josh McDaniels being a bit of a soft hire there, being given another head coaching job. And I don't know, I think these Vegas players at some point start to turn on the coach. I mean, I'm not sure it's this weekend. They probably get right here, but yeah, as you said, it's a lot of points, and they're not a good enough team to cover that many.
No, I think the Raiders win the football game. I just don't think by more than a touchdown. So I think I agree with you. McDaniels, I'm not sure was the most inspiring hire for the Raiders, but at the same time, they haven't played as badly as 1-4 makes it seem. They were unlucky not to get KC with a win the other week. So I think they're looking better, but I still just think Texans will keep themselves in it and play an ugly game. And yeah, not one for the neutral, but let's hope a cover for our sakes.
Yeah.
Right. Mile high now. And as you predicted, who would have said at the start of the season your New York Football Jets would be favored on the road to the Denver Broncos? The Russell Wilson train was rolling. Everyone was convinced of a Super Bowl run. What do you think, Tom? It's your turn to go first.
Well, I think the Vegas has really pretty much laid out what sort of games is going to be here, with a points total at a meager 38 here.
Yeah, I know.
Goodness. You'd be lucky to get that, the way these teams are playing. It just really comes down to which quarterback makes more mistakes. I'm not sure I trust Zach Wilson yet to go to Lambeau and win, and then to come here to Mile High and win. It just doesn't seem right to me yet. I'm not fully on this hype train. And I think the Broncos, coming off that loss on Monday night, win a game here. Whoever wins is going to scrape it. But I think, this has got everything kind of written for a Broncos comeback here, and the Jets maybe, not as good as some people think they are. Give me Denver. Although, no, I'm pretty confident.
You're pretty confident?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't know. Obviously, as the line indicates, everybody feels that this is a coin toss game.
Yeah.
Um, uh, I'm just gonna say that given momentum and the way things have been going so far this year, that on this occasion the coin's gonna fall the Jets' way. Give me Gang Green to go on the
Nice.
road, a field goal win. An ugly affair. I honestly, if you put a gun to my head, I'd take the under on the points. I think it could quite easily be like a 15-10 game or something.
Yeah.
Like something really ugly, like with a safety thrown in there.
Yeah.
I think it could be a horrendous game of football. You see, look, Zach Wilson still isn't the Jets' leading passer. My word. Yeah, this is going to be low scoring. I think the Jets defense has recovered slightly, and every defense in the NFL seems to be giving the Broncos problems. And they've got a lot of good young players now as well, the Jets, who seem to be rounding into some form. Brees Hall, Gardner, in like they could both win offensive rookies, defense and offense this year. So, yeah, all of those reasons give me the Jets, but I'm not confident on it at all. Why not?
No.
May as well differ to you. I need to start catching you up again now in the league standings. Right. Wow. The Seahawks go to the Chargers. This will be an absolutely deafening environment for Justin Herbert to play in. There'll be lots of Seahawks there. Lots of Seahawks fans there. I think it could be extremely loud. I think the Chargers will have to go into their silent count straight away. And I've gone all year on the Geno train. So yeah, let's go again. Keep this simple. I think the Seattle Seahawks win this game, to be honest. So yeah, give me the Seahawks to cover 5.5. Easy.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. Short week for the Chargers as well, must be said, coming off Monday Night Football. They're not good enough to handle that at the moment. Badly coached team. Seahawks are a well-coached team, and to give a discrepancy of 5 points is a bit too much here. So for all those reasons, yeah, take Seattle.
Easy, easy breezy on that one. I think we're both quite happy with that. That's also an extend and back candidate for me as well. The Seahawks.
I think so.
The Seahawks and the Falcons. I think we both feel pretty good about, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Right. What sort of time have we got? We've got 5.5 minutes to do the last 3. So we're going to have to dash through a couple of these. We won't dash through this one. It's the Chiefs. So,
Monday night's an interesting one, so I want to go over that a bit. But this one, I think, Chiefs are -2. I'll probably trust the Chiefs to bounce back here. I just don't see Chiefs losing 2 in a row. The Niners, yeah, as I said, I'm done with betting on the Niners. And this is not a big spread, not big enough for me to even consider taking them on this spread. I think the Chiefs will come with a good game plan, and they'll get things on the road again. The Niners defense will struggle. I believe they might be missing Bosa again. So I think it'll be a lot of quick passing here from the Chiefs, almost trying to play the Niners at their own game, as we've seen. And just not bad enough side to lose 2 in a row here, Kansas.
Yeah, agree with that. I think also a 2-point margin, what you're really doing is picking a winner. And I'm not in the business of picking the Niners over the Chiefs yet until they show me a bit more. So give me the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So we now have Pittsburgh. How did this get flexed into prime time? How and when did this happen? My word, dismal.
I mean, they've had a lot of AFC West, so I think they're just trying to give someone else a prime time game. Which
I mean, that's fair. We need to start taking the AFC West out of prime time because those teams just aren't good enough aside from the Chiefs. But yeah, Christ. Okay, well, I don't know if Pickett's healthy even. So he doesn't look like he's in the injury report No, he is concussion.
Oof.
No, this is important. Sorry, I'm going to have to look this up because if Trubisky is playing, that makes it very easy. Oh,
Clears concussion protocol. Set to start. Second one down there.
Excellent. Right. Glad we sorted that. In that case, then, I think I'll take the. Oh no, I don't know. I've actually been quite high on the Dolphins, and I've backed them a few times this year, and it's come off for me. And with Tua will also be back in this game. It could be bombs away here. Tyreek Hill is having a phenomenal season. Nobody's talking about it because he's not putting up the same amount of touchdowns that he used to in Kansas City. But the usage, I mean, look, 50 catches already. My word.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Steelers won that game last week against the odds. Do they have 2 in a row?
No, that was a home game for them. Last time they went on the road, they got destroyed by the Bills. So I think again, you'll see a team traveling down to Florida and struggling to deal with a bit of heat down there in Hard Rock Stadium. Go on. I'm quite happy to take the Dolphins.
Go on, I'll take the Fins. Well done. You bailed me out there. I was supposed to be picking first, but your confidence in the Dolphins has pushed me over the edge there. It's the only one I needed help on, so there you go. We'll take it.
Good.
We're both in on the Fins, and you really wanted to talk about Monday Night Football.
Well, this is an interesting one. This is a big spread here.
It's a dire game, diabolical.
It's a dire game. Yeah, but I really would be, I don't know, because I feel like I want to take the Patriots here, but it's a lot of points to take.
But they have drubbed the Lions and the Browns this year, the Patriots, leaning on that defense and the running game.
Yeah, that's the thing. You find these teams that haven't quite got it figured out yet, and they come up against this juggernaut that's the Patriots, and they just outcoach them completely. Yeah. So I think my head's telling me to take the points here in a primetime game, but I think this could get ugly. And it's a Patriots cover here. Only got 15 seconds left, so sorry, but I'll send it back to you.
Yeah, Pats for me too. I've got their defense in fantasy this week. I need the points, so come on.
Yeah.
Come on, big bad Bill. Let's have it.
Big cover. All right.